Okay, guys, we are going to break down 5 simple concepts today. And the first concept that we're going to bring up is posture. So, to set the scene for you guys, this is in 2022. Bryce Harper is going to hit a 2-run bomb off of Lance McCullers right here. He's going to adjust from this top red line in the zone to that bottom red line in the zone. And it's one of the best swings I've ever seen in October. So let's break it down. So the first thing that we're going to look at is posture, right? He sets his posture off of timing. Some guys use their feet, some guys use their coil. He's going to use all of it. He's going to set his posture, he's going to get into his coil, and he's going to set his hands to where he wants them for his turn, all before he gets his foot down. So the first thing we're going to look at is, when does he start his first move? He starts his first move when Lance starts to lower that foot and begin separation of his hands. The first thing that he is doing is sending his butt back this way, just slightly. And he's also bringing his upper body down this way, right? So he's kind of doing an RDL feel, kind of a squat feel with a little bit of an upper body rounding. The second piece that we're going to see is he's coiling. You can see how the number 3 on his jersey has started to expose itself, but his hands are still in the frame. So he hasn't thought about pulling his hands back to coil. He's just used his hips. And we can see that based on, we can't see the middle of his pant belt loop. Now we can, right? Same thing with the number 3. We can see it as he's getting here. So he's also set something that we can call forward torso bend or hinge or tilt, whatever you want to call it. His body is slightly angling, shoulders in front of his hips, right? And you can notice how he's doing that. He's starting up a lot taller and he's setting that basically on one leg, right? He hasn't even got that other leg down. So he is doing that on one leg. He's in his back hip and he is ready when the ball is coming at him, right? So now we're at release. He is putting his foot down to engage his swing. Some coaches don't think that that's good. Some coaches do. I personally don't care if you hit the ball over the fence in these type of scenarios. So what we're going to look at real quick is his ability to adjust when he gets his foot down. Now, he knows what's coming, right? Like, he's selling out on this pitch because he's not really adjusting a whole lot onto his timing. As you can see, as he gets his foot down, like he's landing in rhythm with his turn. And what I mean by that is he's turning. You can see that separation, how it increases as his heel gets into the ground. We can see that represented in his jersey line right there. You can see how that gets really tight, and that's happening as he gets his foot down into the ground, right? So he's turning his pelvis into foot strike. So as he lands in that foot strike, we can see how this ball would be relatively at the top of the zone, and Bryce has his hands above it, elbow above it, eyes above it. He's got high-pitched posture. He's got H, P, P. He's ready to hit the ball up, but he's going to adjust down, which is where this ball goes, right? Now, how do we adjust from up to down? We use our legs, yes, but also he has to make his spine level with the bat, because ideally we want to try to be at that position at contact, and he's pretty dang close, right? He kind of popped up in his swing a little bit. He was probably really trying to put his hips into this baseball, and we'll talk about that last piece at the end, how he's really doing that. But you can see how relatively, like within reason, I'll even put like little parameters here. I'll put a little line there for his posture. He holds that posture through the turn, and then on the follow through, that's when he loses it. So this is called forward torso posture, forward tilt, whatever you want to call it, that line. And in order for him to actually get there, he has to side bend his body or curve his body, which is this occupied space here. You can see that lengthened space here. Kind of like when you yawn and one arm goes up and one arm goes down and you stretch your side body. That's what's happening here, right? Is he thinking about it? No idea, but it's happening. And you can see how there is a reverse of this on the opposite side, right? This left oblique is up and this right oblique is down. And then he has to open that right oblique up, shorten that left oblique to get his barrel into the zone, right? We've gone through posture. He uses his timing. He sets it on one leg, right? And this is all happening with Lance McCullers going from ball in hand or ball in the glove to foot strike. There's the RDL, there's the crouch and the coil. Now he's set his hands. We're gonna turn our pelvis into rotation. We're gonna side bend a little bit. Now, in order for us to turn a lot better is to understand where our hips are. So you can see how his belt line really projects forward. You see how it's almost hidden here? It's got this like hidden look, right? Like you can barely see it. And then as he goes to swing, see how it pops into frame? This is the idea of hip extension, but this is when you extend your hips at the right time. Now, I'm not telling hitters to hit this way, but I was taught as I was growing up by a minor league coach, I should try to squeeze my butt cheeks at contact, right? And his hips are tilted this direction, right? Because if you think about your hips are a bucket of water, if you're standing up and down, right, your hips are like this, right? And then when you go back like this, where would the bucket be falling? The bucket's going this way, right? And so as we're turning, we're actually bringing the bucket slightly this way. So where would the water be pouring? That would be behind us, right? But it doesn't necessarily have to be a thought in your swing, but it's a good concept for us to see here. Boom, you see those hips drive through the baseball. And this is one thing that I've geeked out for a while is like how they pause on the big toe for a second and then how they get that balance on that follow through. And this ball is absolutely creamed. You can see the crowd loves it. Lance hates it. Bryce is all about it. He's like, yep, I'm that dude, bro. I'm really him. So what do we need to think about to finalize this breakdown? The first thing is you got to set your posture with good timing in order to be ready with the breaking ball if you're Bryce Harper. What is good posture? Good posture is high pitch posture, ready to adjust from up to down. The last three pieces are all associated with the turn. You want to turn into heel strike, you want to side bend, and then you want to allow your hip to go from anterior to posterior. So, in essence, there's our timing and our posture. We're moving as one. There's our high pitch. There's our separation, side bend. Let's party. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. It's one of my favorite moments of all time. Keep following for more detailed breakdowns. Don't leave your curveballs over the middle of the plate when number 3 is coming. Oh, mama, there goes that man.